Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. My track guide for the MX5 going around Lime Rock Park, the Chicanes layout. Let's get into it. For qualifying, we want to be on the left side of the track, and I'm turning in by the 2 board here on the left. And once we get to the 1 board a little further back, we'll start to brake. When I start to brake, I go to about 65% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to the first curb. We don't want to be braking too hard because we are steering and turning at the same time. We want to get close to the first curb track out to just about mid-track for turn 2. Before we are turning in and getting on the curb for turn 2 as well. Just before the curb of turn 2, we want to start to apply the throttle again. And as I said, we want to be using the curb as well. Just make sure to only use one set of wheels on the curb. If you try and use both, it will unsettle the car and it will go bad. Control the car with the throttle. If you need to go a little bit off, do that. And use as much room as you need. For turn 3, we only need to be about mid-track. And we want to brake just before the little crest in the road. Once we get to that, I go to about 50% brake pressure. Easing off once we are over the little crest. We want to go in and use all of the curb on the inside. And we want to come out on the left side of the track out of turn 3. This is so we can set up for turn 4, because we have a straight after that one. Once I get onto the curb on the inside, I'll start to apply the throttle again. As I said, just make sure you come out on the left side of the track, because then we don't have to brake at all for turn 4. Turn 4 is a bit cambered, so we can carry a bit more speed than we think. We can cut the curb a little bit. Even though I hit it in this one, I prefer not to do it. And of course, use all the available curb on the outside. I don't recommend to try and overtake into turn 5, even though it's a hard braking zone. It will just cost both of you too much time. But if you can get alongside, it might be worth a shot. This is a really hard braking zone and we want to be braking just before we get to the tree on the left. About 5 meters before I get to it, I start to brake. And here I aim for about 80% brake pressure. And we want to be aiming just a little bit outwards so we can use the outside curb to help us open up turn 5 a bit more. And of course we want to be trailing the brake, keeping the load on the front so we can turn better. I don't recommend hitting the first inside anti-cut. It can unsettle the car quite a lot and even spit you out, slinging you around. But just as we get to that anti-cut, I'll start to apply the throttle again. And then I get as close as I can to the anti-cuts without hitting him, while being flat out all the way through turn 6 and 7. This is a place that can yield quite a lot of time, or slow you down quite a lot. I'll go to the left side of the track for turn 8. Turn 8 and 9 is all about setting up for the exit of turn 10, because we're going to be flat out all the way to the start-finish line. I brake once I get to the dark line here in the road. Once I get to that, I go to about 80% brake pressure. We want to be braking, so we end up in the middle of the road for turn 9. So we are missing the inside curb of turn 8, sacrificing that for a better entry for turn 9 and 10. We can cut a lot of the inside curb for turn 9, and we can do that as well for turn 10. And we're all the way down to first here. Just before we get to the curb of turn 10, we'll start to apply the throttle again. Just make sure not to cut too much of turn 9. If you do that, you'll get an incident point, and if you cut too much of turn 10, you'll get a slowdown. And use as much of the outside curb as you need. Then we want to go over to the left side of the track for turn 11. Turn 11 is going to be flat out, and I cut the inside curb quite a lot here. Just make sure that you commit to the curb, and of course use all available exit curb to maximize your exit speed. And now it's a drag race down to the start-finish line. And that's my lap around Lime Rock Park, the Chicanes layout in the MX5, with a time of 1 minute 0.4.0. I have more track guides for the MX5 linked down below. Hopefully you found this one useful. If you did, leave a like down below, consider subscribing as well. And now for the uninterrupted hot laps.